Today, we're rebuilding two teams that have lit up the Premier League in the past, but one of these teams will use an overpowered meta football manager tactic and they will not be able to change tactics throughout the season. The other team will use a tactic that I created that fits the players on that team, but they will also have the freedom to adjust their tactics throughout the season. Now, which team will get to the Premier League first? So let's meet the two teams. The first team here is the team that I am going to be managing, and that is Swansea City. The Welsh side lit up the Premier League back in 2012 as a newly promoted side, and they had some street performances from this man Michu. The streets will never forget this man. They had a great first season, securing wins against West Brom and top teams like Manchester City, Arsenal and Liverpool. However, in the 2017-18 season, Swansea got relegated from the Premier League, and it's our job to actually see if we can get them back in there in one attempt. Yes, I only get one shot at this. Wish me luck. Now, the team we're going up against is Queen's Park Rangers, and they've had the privilege of being the away side during the Manchester City's Aguero moment. While this was the highlight of their 2012 campaign, QPR had an okay season and managed to survive relegation that year. However, the following year, the R's did not survive the intensity of the Premier League and they got relegated to the Championship. In this rebuild, they will be using an overpowered tactic that I picked up for them from FM Arena. This tactic ranked higher than the Miracle 1 tactic for average teams in the latest tactic testing, and it just might be what QPR need to actually get back in the Premier League. Personally, I feel there's no tactic that's actually better than the Miracle 1 tactic, but let's see. We are competing in the same league with an AI team using an overpowered tactic. So this is the system that QPR are going to use. They are using an overpowered 4-2-4 tactic, and while us, Swansea, I created a 3-4-3 tactic based on the players that I actually found at the squad. Well, after preseason, I noticed that my team had less than 40% possession on average. I don't know if it's because of my tactic or because I didn't add any player instructions, team instructions, or even a mentality. We did have some tough games in there, and particularly one against Sevilla and Girona where we lost. But in the game against Cordoba, I set the mentality to attacking and we won 4-0 with an average possession of 38%. No team instructions added yet. QPR got wins against Cayenne and US Orleans, but bigger German sides gave them a problem. We also had an injury to our starman Jamal Lowe, and it's really terrible to start the season in this manner, but in our final preseason game against AC Milan, I actually chose to use the defensive mentality just to make it realistic, and also because I want to see how we can actually match up against a top team when we're out of possession. We played well and we even scored a goal, but a narrow 2-1 defeat was how it stayed. After 5 games in the season, AI-powered QPR sit top of the table with 5 wins from 5 games, while we sat just outside the promotion places with 3 wins from our first 5 games. By far, our most exciting game came against Sunderland, where we went ahead early on in the game, only for Sunderland to equalize just a minute later. And just before halftime, we got our second goal of the game. Our performance dropped in the second half immediately after that, and Sunderland went on to equalize the game after the hour mark. And in the 82nd minute, they went on to grab what looked like a late winner. 3 minutes from time, Nathan Wood snatched a late equalizer for us, and a bizarre own goal from Luke O'Neill saw us grab a late winner in the 89th minute. Using the data hub, I learned that we were solid in defense but only average in attack, so I did go on to make some tweaks to our tactics. So hopefully asking my team to walk the ball into the box could actually offer us some opportunities to retain possession in the final third and try to get some goals. Well, after 10 games, QPR has finally lost 1 game in the league, and they lost 5-1 away from home to Portsmouth. They're still in second place though, and we're still sitting outside of the promotion places in 7th, and actually QPR losing gives us an opportunity to actually make up some ground on them. We lost in the Carabao Cup to Spurs, but big wins against Stoke City and Blackburn Rovers in our last 2 games kept us from falling further down the table after our back-to-back 3-0 defeats against Sheffield Wednesday and Hull City. For October, we're going to start pressing teams more. I pushed the defensive line and the line of engagement high, and also asked the team to press more often, and that saw us go through an entire month without winning a single game. I actually thought the pressing was going to work. We did get a win against Cardiff in November, but that was as good as it got for us just before Christmas. QPR also had a difficult October, losing 6-1 away from home to Watford and 5-2 at home to Middlesbrough. It turns out that the overpowered tactic wasn't helping them as much as I thought. I'll keep the pressing for my team, and just because I'm trying to trust the process, I just hope that it doesn't hurt us too much in the end. However, I'm switching from the attacking mentality to a positive mentality to actually help us control games better and not waste too many chances. We've missed our opportunity to leapfrog QPR on the table, but let's just hope that the busy Christmas period could offer us some better results. We did get a 1-0 win against Millwall and a 2-0 win against Watford and another 2-1 narrow win against Stoke City. Now Stoke City has been the only team that we've been able to beat home and away this season. After a 4-0 thrashing of Blackburn Rovers in the new year, we got knocked out from the FA Cup by Wolves in a humbling 4-1 defeat at the Molineux. We did follow that up with a 3-0 win against Derby County, but to be honest with you, it looked like we were winning games, but we were actually struggling in the league. QPR did beat us in December, and they also thrashed West Bromwich Albion 5-0. They seemed to be having a better Christmas than we did with their overpowered tactic, but a 1-0 defeat against Leeds United brought them back down to earth. They followed that defeat up with 3 wins from 3 against Sheffield Wednesday, Watford and Luton Town, before going on a 3-game losing streak in February. You see, February wasn't nice to either of us, so we started the month pretty well, beating Coventry and Hull City, but we went on to face our own 3-game losing streak shortly after. I'll be honest with you, it's tough playing in the championship, mate. I have stuck to our back 3 system for about 35 games of this season, and for the last remaining 11 games I am actually going to switch to a 4-3-3. But I noticed that my central midfielders, they all like to come deep to get the ball, so I've just asked most of my wide players and my striker to stay on the attack duty. I also switched my mentality back to attacking and asked the team to play with a higher tempo. We are 20 points away from the promotion places and we have to play for 33 points. Mathematically, do we still even have a chance? There's only one way to find out. Coming through to the end of the season, we see that Swansea City, after being predicted to finish in 15th place, we ended up finishing in 14th place. So to be honest with you, it looks like it was good, but it was actually terrible. It felt terrible the entire way. And I kid you not, QPR went on to finish in 7th place, just outside the promotion places, despite being at the top at some point. Leeds United completely destroyed the league. It's good for them because I'm a Leeds fan. But overall, the overpowered tactic versus the normal human-created realistic tactic did not do us any favors. Both teams didn't get promoted to the Premier League, and it's worth trying this again with a different set of teams. But there are a few lessons to learn from here. Like if we look at the stats page, we can see that Leeds United actually had the best amount of possession with 58%. QPR were in there with 56%. But if we look at where we were at Swansea, we had only 47% average possession. Shockingly, we made it to the list of fewest conceded, but that's only 8th place because we went on to concede 62 goals all season. But the human manager versus an overpowered AI tactic, this is actually how it turned out. QPR scored the second highest amount of goals with 95 goals. I think Sheffield United were the only team that scored more with 101. Even champions Leeds United only scored 85 goals. So that's really, really unique. We'll see how this goes for a second season. Do let me know in the comment section what you think of this particular test. And for more football manager experiments like this, remember to hit the subscribe button so you can get notified when more videos do come out. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.